Thanks for joining.
Yeah, not bad. I'm okay. How about you? How's your collaborations with Rose going?
Uh, well, I've been working on it for the past couple days. She's been working, making that money thing, you know,
Yeah.
and but I'm going to be going away soon, and she's going to have a lot of time to work on it.
Is this about what you messaged me? I don't know if you want me to keep quiet about what you're doing.
Yeah, we'll keep quiet
Oh,
about it.
down. Okay, right.
Yeah, but
All right.
I'll message you more about it afterwards. Uh, no, last night we got a little storm here coming, so I'm going to be postponed. I'm not going anywhere for a few days, but we went bowling, so my bones are aching. I haven't bowled in probably 15 years, maybe 20. Yeah,
Is this 10-pin bowling?
yeah, yeah.
All right, because in England we have what my dad plays, where you roll it towards the jack on a lawn. It's a very slow game.
Mm.
The aim of it's
The aim is what?
the aiming is to get your ball as close to the small white jack as possible. That kind of bowling, and then
Like
there's a
bocce,
bowling
like
where you got.
bocce balls.
I don't know. I
That's
don't know.
Italian. That's an Italian thing where they roll a ball and try to get it as close to a small ball. Like
That's
they roll the small ball out into a pit, and then everyone tries to get the ball as close as possible to it. In fact, where I grew up is the United States bocce ball tournament in Rome, New York, and it's named
is
Rome, New
it.
York because it's from Italy. There's a
Yeah.
lot of Italian immigrants.
So when you say a pit, what, a pit of sand, or what's it? What kind
Yeah,
of
I think
pit?
it could be grass. I think it was a pit of sand. I'm pretty sure.
Mm,
I'm pretty sure it is. I played once. I had an Italian girlfriend when I was a teenager, and her father was from Italy, and they would all the men would sit out and play bocce ball, drink coffee, smoke
mm,
cigarettes, and I got to play once with them. They didn't like
yeah.
me because I was a mayonnaiser.
A
But
mayonnaiser.
yeah, they called the WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, is what they call them here. The Italians, the immigrant Italian population was huge where I grew up. And
Mm.
the fathers didn't want their daughters marrying a mayonnaiser. That was me.
Oh, I see. All right.
The
Over
real
here
white
we've
guy.
got. Yeah.
Not much tanning opportunity. And all the girls, it seemed like all of the pretty girls were Italian last names. So
Mm,
my mother's Italian, and her maiden name was Rizzo, which is a good, strong Italian name. Uh, but I got Troop. It's English. It's my father. So
mm,
they married. So if there was also an Italian family called Kutrup, it's like Katrupe, but they took that E off, and so it sounded like
mm.
Katrup. And I always wanted to have those two syllables in my last name, like
Yeah,
John
true.
Stone, like tough,
Yeah.
good name. And I always had that stupid one syllable name, Ron Troop. Boring. Anyway,
What I
so
like, what I
all the
like
pretty girls.
about
Yeah,
what's true of Black Ivory and Edgeworth Johnston is it's
yeah.
two words of the same number of letters, which is quite helpful when you're doing posters and stuff.
Wait a second. Two words. Oh, Edgeworth Johnson. Yeah.
Both have 9 letters, and Black
Yeah.
Ivory,
Yep.
same number of letters in each word. So when you're
Yeah, that would
doing
work.
text alignment for graphics, it's quite useful if you've got um, an easy configuration.
Ronald Troop. I should start calling myself. Because that would be
But
six letters,
that's,
6 letters.
hang on, RONALDTHRO. Wow. See, I would assumed Ronald had a lot more letters in it than True.
Yeah. Right. So there it is.
That
Ronald Troop.
that's like an illusion. Ronald has the same number of letters as True. Because I was thinking, what's he talking about? Ronald has like 4 more letters than True.
Well, I would think the same with Edgeworth. Sounds like it has a lot more.
Mm,
I mean, they're two
yeah.
full words, edge and worth. I mean, that's Ron and old aren't. I mean,
Mm,
there's this idea that it goes longer. How about this? John Stone. It's literally a name. I mean, as a
yeah.
person could be named John Stone. So you
My
got it all.
teacher at school, my teacher at school thought my name was John Stone. He couldn't get it into his head that John Stone was my surname. So he used to call me Stone because he used to call kids by their last name. And I was like, no, sir, it's John Stone. And he's like, yeah, I know your name is John. He couldn't. So I just gave up in the end, and he called me Stone.
Did you have to call your teacher, sir?
Yes, yeah.
Really?
And when they walk in the room, you've all got to stand up.
No, that's from
Yeah.
TV. Really?
No,
Wow.
yeah. When a teacher walks in the room, all the kids stand up from their chair, and then you sit down when a teacher says sit down.
Wow.
Mm. So yes, 100%. To be honest, I mean, there's a lot I don't like about school, but the things where you pay respect to others, I'm quite in favour of all that. Like I like school uniforms. I don't like it when they send to
Me
school in
too.
their normal clothes.
I
I
I
I
do too.
like the yeah, I like showing respect to a hierarchy, even though we all know it's a fake hierarchy. Just instilling that level of deference in kids. I quite like all that.
Yeah, I do too. I'm a sucker for uniforms with the young people for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It gives them a sense of identity and purpose and discipline, all that lot. And it's good, it's good for whatever you do later on in life to have those qualities. Otherwise, you end up feral, and you just run into brick walls all the time.
That's the story of my life.
I
No,
think
because
you're quite a respectful person, Ron. Yeah, I
oh
mean,
yeah,
because yeah, you because I remember when you came over, I was saying, Ron, if you want to save some money, stay at our house, and you were like,
right,
no,
right.
no, no.
Oh no, no,
You were very, yeah,
yeah, I'm an anomaly for my community for sure. I'm very I'm a mixed bag. So it's like inside sometimes I go, I'd be eccentric, go off.
mm.
Everyone thinks I'm a little bit nutty. But I definitely have traditional values. No doubt.
I mean, there's a place in the community for the oddball. The village
Right.
idiot is a part of the village, and without the village idiot, it's lost something. Um,
Right.
you need to. I remember with England's football team, you'd sometimes have one player who's told just do whatever you like. Everyone else has a set function, but you need that one manic guy just to mix it all up and cover all the bases.
Just to run around, be wild on the field.
Yeah, I think like Steve McManaman had that role for England. I
Mm,
think he used to just run wherever he wanted. He didn't seem to follow any kind of
mm.
game plan. It's 1 minute he'll be defending, the next minute he'll be attacking, and then he'll be on the left hand side, then he'd go to the right hand side. Um, you
Yeah.
need one of those. You need one of those in an organization. You can't all be cogs.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. It's also how you play the game, how you approach it. In American football, um, we have quarterbacks, and they're the ones who throw the ball and hand the ball
Yeah,
off. But there was always a traditional quarterback was somebody who just either handed the ball off to a running back or
yeah,
dropped back and passed it from they
yeah,
call it a pocket. But now you have
yeah,
such nimble, athletic players. It's changing, and they get the ball hiked to them. They could go anywhere. You just don't know where they're going to go. They might just run with it, and that never happened in professional football for you
yeah,
know forever. Maybe it did in the old days, but then when quarterbacks started getting paid outrageous salaries, they said, "Don't you run the ball? Just, just
yeah.
hand it off. We don't want to lose you. No
Well,
hamstrings."
well, unpredictability is really hard to defend against,
Right, right.
not just in
There you go.
sport.
Even in
Yeah.
village, even the yes, I could be unpredictable, and they'll never get me. So the
Well, yeah.
students,
I
yeah.
mean,
Go ahead.
life
Yeah.
must be really boring in a village with no idiot because
Right, right.
you know, you want to wake up and see that the crazy guy's done. So, it keeps things fresh. His job is to keep things fresh.
Well, that I think that would be the whole idea of the purpose of the creative person, the artist. That's what they do.
I think so. Yeah.
It's one way to do it, not where they have to be. They don't have to be standing on the corner begging, or you say village idiot. You have definitely a different perspective of that term. Here it would be somebody who's usually a ward of the state, uh, is not all right in the head, uh, and stands in the corner and just spouts out gibberish. That would be
Yeah.
the American idea of what a village idiot is. I don't know if the UK they have a different uh, feeling. So I'm not yet the village idiot, is what I'm saying. So I guess
Mm.
to call somebody a village idiot in the United States would be like you're just literally an idiot, like go back to
Yeah.
the institution sort of thing. So um, yeah, yeah.
My favorite lyric that I've written is what song is it? I can't remember what song it's in, but it's the only free thinker in the village is the one everyone calls the idiot.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's on Studious. I
Good
think it's
stuff.
Dilated Lines. I think Dilated Lines.
Okay. Yeah.
The only free thinker in the village is the one everyone calls the idiot.
Nice.
Yeah. But no,
That's very good.
it's a valuable part of society. And like I say, that I think Black Ivory are the village idiot of. Actually, I was thinking about this the other day. I thought Black Ivory are the village idiot of the art world. Um, but I was thinking. Oh, hang on, you're frozen.
Yeah. You're back.
Oh, you're back. I was thinking Black Ivory's more like a record label than an art gallery. I was thinking it's just that we do predominantly music, we do predominantly art, not predominantly music. But in every other
Right.
sense, I think we're more like a record label than we are a gallery, or an art representing body.
You back?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, well, you're gonna have to. Well, so yeah, it's a record label that doesn't sign anybody else.
yeah, we've got our three acts. We're not actively looking for anyone. Um, but um, it's like I was thinking of it. Imagine, because I was thinking with Heckles Horse Junior one, because I'm doing all this stuff now, and
Mhm.
like Billy and I being told we can't put the Heckles Horse into a show and all that stuff. I think,
Mhm.
imagine if a record label said to a band, "These are the songs you're allowed to play. All these other songs you've written, you're not allowed to play them." I mean, no band would stand for that.
Right.
Whereas, and that's the problem with galleries, is they're telling their artists, not, you know, in general. And they say, don't change your style of music, otherwise you might confuse your audience. I mean, imagine if a record label said that. I mean, no alternative
They've
rock band,
tried.
no punk band.
Right.
Yeah,
They've
they
tried.
tried,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the bands say no way, because you're
Right.
not going to creatively control us. Whereas the art world, that's what they do to their painters, and that's why I think that's why I value the freedom of being able to do Heckles Horse Junior and Black Ivory,
Hmm.
because Black Ivory doesn't tell Heckles Horse Junior what to do. And like Black Ivory trusts in the artist and gives them
Hmm.
free reign to do their creative thing. And that's
Yep.
really the model of what galleries should be. Otherwise, you're just you just got your slave artists who just churn out whatever's
Hmm.
consistent with what they want you to do. It's the antithesis of what like music record label would do. So that's why I was
Hmm.
thinking Black Ivory's, we're more like a record label than we are a gallery. I mean, we would never do the kind of stuff to artists that galleries do.
Right. That's why we need a fan base, because the reason why I think musicians that break through can tell the record company where to go is because the fans are waiting for that album. They'll accept the change eventually. So it's like if you like Nirvana, if Kurt Cobain, lived another year, you're going to buy that album if it came out. If he was just going blah, 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 on the album, you're
Yeah.
going to buy it because you were the fan. And uh, a gallery or painters seem a little bit more desperate. That's probably why they bow down to the galleries all the time, because they don't have like fans waiting at the gate to rush them and say, "Oh, I want to see what you're painting now." It's more like the gallery saying, I got a millionaire who likes what you did here. He made these.
Yeah,
He made that big blue painting. Make me another big blue painting because I have another millionaire who
yeah,
wants it. And I think
yeah.
there's a different market in that regard. Uh, Lou Reed was told by his record label that he needed an album by contract, like right away. So he went into a room, I guess, and he made an album called Metal Machine Music, and it's just him distorting for an entire 40 minutes his guitar. No
Mm,
lyrics or anything, just and he said, "There you go, it's by contract." They had to print it.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's what he did. So, but his fans, ate it up, right? So,
I mean, if your band's if you've got trust in your band, I mean, I would trust. Like if Anna brought up another album, I would wait for a review to see if I was going to buy it. I
right,
would just trust them to make good music. And if they didn't, if they
right,
broke that trust, like for example, if they did a contractual obligation song that was artistically rubbish, but they just did it to make some political statement, that's all
right,
well and good. But I would no longer trust them. I'd say, fine, I'm not in. You know what I mean? So
right,
I think there's
right.
a price to pay for that kind of stuff. But I think you're right that it's nice. It's nice to know. I mean, some artists, ideally, you wouldn't need an audience to. You wouldn't need that feeling of an audience accepting or rejecting what I do. You think, well, I do what I do, and then if the audience doesn't like it, they can go and pay attention to someone else. I'm only interested in people who are into what I'm doing,
Mm,
and
hmm.
that's the kind of audience that I like. But you're right with the gallery. It's almost like the gallery has fans, not the artist,
Well,
and so the
they have
gallery.
to. They're just moving money. They're moving. They're a store. They're a retail outlet. That's what a gallery is. And it's picking what it wants on the shelf, and
Yeah,
yeah. So that's why
but
why
they
they fail.
seem.
Hmm.
I mean, even a shop has to give the customers what they want. It's almost like the gallery
Hmm.
tells their customers what they want, and
Right,
they tell their artists what they want.
right.
Um, it's
Yep.
a uh, the gallery have got the wrong role in the art world. Whereas again, going back to music, I think the ideology of this kind of small record label between all three, the artists, the record label, and the fans
Hmm.
are all in the same, are all part of the same organism. Um, that's
Right.
what that's what I would like to think is possible in art, but you could never do that with a contemporary art gallery because that's not how they work. They don't do it that way.
It is very possible, but then it makes me think of like where poetry went. Like the written poetry. It went from a Random House or Penguin Books, or getting a big deal, and then now small presses. And the small presses would be the Black Ivory, where you can write what you want. But the problem there, you go back to, can you make a living at it? So I'm afraid,
Yeah.
I fear, and this is one of my jot down notes I wrote today, is
Oh
you know
yes.
uh, about whatever it is, whether it's freeze art or Black Ivory. How do you create? Because my goal really always wants to be some kind of income, and I can't imagine any painter or artist not. Well, I'm not a pure. I'm doing this because I'm pure. I've always thought that there might be some payback. I contradict myself constantly, but there's the feeling like where I'm something above wanting to just get some money for what I do. And then there's the feeling of, no, I want Rose to be free. I want to be free. I want to work.
I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see it's a contradiction because in order to do your art the way you think it should be done, it has
Yeah.
to pay money.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to have to go and get a job
Right.
and spend your time doing something else.
Right.
Um, so no, it has to make money. Otherwise, we're not children anymore. We don't
Right.
have endless amounts of free time where where our food and shelter is covered by our parents. Well,
Right.
actually, in my case, it is. But most people,
Temporarily. You're
yeah.
in
Well, I
Quran right
mean,
now. You're taking care of it right now. You're
Yeah,
You're moving.
no, I pay my way. But the bottom, I mean, but what I mean is the way we want to make our art. If we want to do it all the time for the foreseeable future, it has to generate money. Otherwise, we're
Right.
going to have to do something else to make money, and that's going to take us away from our art, which is the one scenario we don't want to have to happen. And that's not a compromise in integrity. That's actually that's artistic integrity to pursue
Mm.
money,
I'm like,
because
well, right. Right.
the
That's the thing.
alternative is I'll do it at weekends. That's the alternative.
Right.
Um,
And I'll have a little, yeah, I'll have my little hobby. My, what,
exactly.
right.
And that all that potential, that Monday to Friday, 8 hours, all that art you could have done will be lost.
Mhm.
So make it make money. And I'm like you,
Oh,
Ron. I'm very money minded, but still art centric. You know what I mean? The
yes.
two can
Yes.
coexist.
Yeah. And now I just need avenues to make it and to not make it, not be famous. I don't care. I just want, we've talked about this so many times, but for our listeners, I want my 20 grand. I want to have that base income I make from that. And that's how
Yeah.
to do that. How do you do that? How do you do that without becoming so much a salesman that I lose the art in the sale? And not art, I lose the time in the sale. So does my full-time job become
Mm.
always trying to think of ways to sell it and losing that Monday through Friday time to actually make it? So everyone has this problem. We're not alone. Every single
No,
person that wants to do this, right?
it shouldn't take too much time. I mean, because I wouldn't, even if I was a billionaire, I wouldn't paint 24 hours a day. I would need to do other stuff anyway. So it's
Of
not as
course.
if I can spend an hour or two on the money side of things, keeping my
Yes.
tax records like I do, um, that hour or two isn't taken away from my art, because I'm still getting how much art my brain can churn out. I can't churn out more than I don't know, probably 6 7 hours on average a day, maybe a bit more. But after that, I would only spend that time watching television or playing football or doing something else anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Well, yeah,
no, and
I agree.
I enjoy it. I enjoy the idea of making this a sustainable model, because then it's like it's a template that other people could use, because I don't know
Mhm.
anyone who can do it. Because it seems that all artists want to do is somehow find their way into the gallery world, or somehow
Because that's
keep
where
putting
they get
stuff
paid.
on. Yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's like that world's not going to work. You're going to end
Mm.
up being a conveyor belt for whatever they want,
If you're
and
lucky
you know what?
to even be a conveyor belt,
That's it.
be, be careful what you wish for because it might come true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's another way to do it, but that way doesn't exist yet, I don't think. So
Right.
you know, we invent, and like you say, we come across things like Blurt and people at Off Grid who will give us tips on how to make more than just a few pennies, how to make, a bit, you know, enough to be worthwhile. We can do it. And also, your outgoings. I mean, in Korat, my outgoings are next to nothing, so I
I
don't
know that's
need.
why I keep frugal. I'm a very frugal person. I've been very frugal for the past 2 years. I'm always frugal, but more so now than ever. You locked out. Did you hear what I was saying?
Yeah, yeah, I heard
Okay.
you. You're frugal
Yeah.
more so than ever
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. And I really try to keep myself running, for I could use it as a political protest, which I've done, but it also means just as an artist, as a maker of things, and I'm not bringing money in, I don't want to put it out. So I really
No.
make myself almost like and then here's another danger area, big danger zone, watch out. Then you start to think you're like monkish, then you're acting like, oh, I'm denying myself all this stuff. And then it becomes that horrible leap into, I'm more spiritual than you, that kind of thing,
Yeah,
which makes me, because, because even though I go there, I know that it's phony. So I try to always pull myself back to reality.
yeah,
Yeah. Because
yeah,
I could be Mr. Spiritual while Rose is at the grind every day making money for me to, think like, oh, I
yeah.
can do this. Yeah. The hypocrisy is always in danger of overwhelming me. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. No, don't. Yeah, there's no need to get carried away with with um it's quite a simple thing. It's not. It doesn't need to be this big spiritual quest for the alternative lifestyle. It's just what everyone else is doing. We're just finding a way to do what we want in life, just like everyone else is doing. It'd be the same. It's just to be an artist to do the kind of work that we want to do. Just means it's a different setup uh, to what most people have to do. But we're just trying to do the same thing, get by, have a few quid in the bank, do the kind of work
I
we
want
want
the
to do.
quid.
Yeah.
Well, here's some ideas, by the way. Here's some ideas. I used to do for about a 2 years period, about 5 to 9 years ago. I forgot exactly when. I would ask people to pay me in silver. So I had a silver dollar campaign. So people honestly would like 16 by 20 painting and say, give me a
Mm,
silver dollar for it. So back then, a silver
mm,
dollar, you could go to the charity shop or whatever pawn shop and get a silver dollar for $30.
yeah.
I don't know, 25 quid, whatever, 20
Mm,
quid. And 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 I was, and they'd all go, haha, well, that's really fun. Ron's playing a game. But silver is now today $92 an ounce.
mm, yeah.
Yeah, so they'd be
Yeah.
giving me 90% silver, not even an ounce, 90%, not,
Yeah.
a silver dollar or whatever. And that was 20 bucks. Now that money that's worth that much more. I'm not going to tell my readers where I keep my physical silver. It's not in the house, or my listeners,
Yeah.
but it wasn't that much, but it was enough to go, wow. When we're talking about alternative incomes, like we talked about Steam It, maybe not
Yeah.
now, but at one point 3 years ago, if you just go to my old posts there, I was making, I told you this before, 30, 50, 60, 20, 30 for a post, right?
Yeah.
That might come back again. There might be some social media that pays where that
Mm,
becomes a reality. That base that Off Grid Life was sent us, it's a Coinbase app, Coinbase wallet,
mm.
but it's now called Base,
Yeah.
app.
Base BASE.
And I signed up to it, and I'm getting I put a post up, and I get somebody to buy my post. I don't even know what that means. But
Yeah.
and it's very little right now. I only have one follower, but
Mm,
if I build that,
yeah.
maybe that'll become a popular thing. And I don't see any, honest, I don't see what I think is art worth looking at on this. So
Mm,
it seems like people are really just all running for that money and putting up really cheap content. Um,
yeah.
there are things to look at. So I think what I'm seeing is sincerity matters on these cryptocurrency social media sites. And the more you are you, the more you get
Yeah.
rewarded.
Well, so, yeah, because that's the high barrier to entry is always going to be worth more than the low barrier to entry. I mean, anyone can get AI to generate content, and I
Right.
imagine that's why so many people do it. But if you do something that AI can't do, then you're going to occupy that niche, and then if there are people attracted to that niche, then you're not going to have a lot of competition for your content, so you should do well. It
Mm-hmm.
reminds
And
me of picking penny stocks. Like there's all these little companies out there, and you just think, okay, I'll buy $100 in this for let's say 100 shares because the shares are worth $1. Um, but who knows in the future? That's it. I mean,
right.
uh, if being paid in anything other than fiat will probably perform better than fiat,
Mhm.
silver included,
Mhm.
gold.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
say pay me in Bitcoin. Um,
Right. Oh, I would love that. Everybody I know who buys my paintings doesn't play with Bitcoin. So
yeah,
yeah.
you can. I mean, I've got a public wallet address. When I get back to London, one of the things I'm going to do, like you suggested, will be to have a way to donate to Free Art Freeze Art. So
Hmm.
buy me a coffee, that kind of thing.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'll put a Bitcoin wallet address up as well. Send me some Bitcoin if you want.
Hmm.
Um, if the
Right.
tax man's watching, it's all going to go through the books. I pay my tax. Um, the
This is what I
tax
say.
man, the tax man sees the back end of these crypto exchanges anyway. Oh, have you seen this thing in California? I don't know if it's actually real or fake news. In California, if you leave your Bitcoin on an exchange for 3 years, apparently California state can seize it and it's then their Bitcoin.
I've read that. Yeah.
Is that true? I read
Yeah.
that and I thought that cannot be true. That has to be
I
fake news.
I don't see I no, I must well, we both read the same fake article that got spread around, but
That
I
is
don't remember what
crazy.
state. It could very well be New York too. We're very stringent here. New York is New York. Did you know if I found in my yard, I just was doing some gardening and I found a giant gold ingot, that is not mine. It's New York State's, even though it's my yard. That
Yeah,
is
they
unheard
will
of.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will. I was speaking to an archaeologist not long ago, and he said if you dig up something valuable or that you think it's valuable, the incentive is just to cover it over and just forget about it. Because if it's worth anything,
Right.
the government take it. It's not yours. If you go into a field and dig up some valuable Roman ruins, um, but if it's not worth anything, it's yours. So there's no incentive to keep. So the best case scenario is that you get to give it away.
Yay. Right.
Um,
Well,
I know,
in
but
some states that's
this,
not true, but in New York State here, like there are states that, in California, I was telling you about a dog that sniffed out a gold uh gold pieces, $20 gold pieces from the 1880s that were not um distributed,
yeah,
non-circulating, and they were right from the San Francisco Mint, and it was a couple $1 million worth of gold, and that was
yeah,
the person got to have that. It was on his property, but not here in New York.
no,
It's the same.
yeah, no,
Something happened
it's
in England in the fields about 10, 15 years ago where somebody found old Roman coins, and I always wondered what happened to them. It was a big deal. It was in the middle of nowhere, and he was just out there with his. He was a farmer, and he was out there
yeah.
doing something with his, and he found this enormous cache
I,
of
yeah,
Roman.
I imagine that was property of the government once they realised it's worth something. There's another case in England where somebody found a painting just been discarded by a canal, and they kept it for years. And then one day, their family member took it to this television program where they say, "Bring your junk and we'll value it."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the
yeah,
yeah, the Antiques Roadshow.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they took it, and the roadshow said, "This is a really valuable painting."
Hmm.
And so it went to auction. Now they said, "Where did you find this painting?" "Oh, my dad found it on by a canal 50 years ago." The As part of the due diligence, the auction house has to try and find the rightful owner. Because just because you find something doesn't mean it's yours. You can find someone else's property.
Right,
So
of course,
it
right.
turns out they weren't the legal owner. So by taking it to the Antiques Roadshow, finding it's worth a lot of money, then
Mm,
taking it to auction to sell it, they lost it because
yeah,
then the gallery, the auctioneers found the rightful owner who had no idea that this painting ever existed, but their
thank you,
descendant had
auctioneers.
painted it.
Yeah,
So so the poor family who found it lost it, and the rich family who legally owned it kept all the money. It's
yeah,
a bit of a shame, really, because it was just discarded. It was just, it'd been thrown as if it had been thrown away.
right. Oh
But
yeah, sure.
that's
Well,
the law of the
could
law.
very well have been. Which brings me to a that's a good segue. Is that the way to say it? Into
Yeah, segue.
um into my spring cleaning we've been talking about in the past couple um podcasts is is how to get rid of this stuff. That I'm really curious because I want to clean this place up. I'm looking at it. I want to empty it or store it. Do you have any ideas for storage or anything? I mean, I've been to Charles's house. That's not what I want.
Yeah, I would advise against that. I would say get it out your house. I would say cover it in advertism and
Just
get
right.
rid of it. Sell it for beans
Okay.
or get rid of it. Keep obviously the precious stuff. Um,
No, yeah.
Keep,
Historical.
obviously, but
Yeah.
in general, um, I think the cost of storing something is deceptively high.
That sure is.
And
And
I'm
more
not
for my
speaking of.
kids. I'm not going to live forever. It's like I think about whoever has to get all this stuff.
I wouldn't. I mean, they will deal with it as they see fit. I mean, they can always give away. But I'm just thinking, and not speaking of anyone in particular, but
Right.
people who've got a house full of stuff. when you think what they could have done with that space and how much, if they'd used that as workspace rather than storage space, how much of
Mm,
their own work they've lost for the sake of storage, and myself included in this.
mm,
Um,
mm.
I think just get it out. Space is worth so much.
Yep. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, it
yeah,
is. Just I'm gonna have to
that's what I would
get it
do.
out. I don't have a
Oh,
camera
now
in
the
there.
way of getting it out, I would say
Yeah.
Camden Market Free Art Man in America.
Right. Yeah, I know. Right.
Uh,
And just go load up
you've
my
got
car every.
Etsy.
That's a good idea. No, I'll go out. I'll go to one of these small cities around here every weekend and
Yeah,
park my car and do what you're doing. I'll put a table out
I think
and
so.
say, put the sign up, free art, free is art, and
Yeah.
I'll keep it filmed.
Oh yeah, that's now the kind of storage that you do want is online storage because that doesn't take up any space. So if you can fill your YouTube and fill all your online platforms, you've got infinity storage space there. So stick everything on there,
All right.
video
So now,
everything.
okay, now you're gonna have to convince me to go back to Instagram because I got off it. So
So,
if I if I wait another day, I lose those 1,400 posts.
oh no, keep it going, keep it going, even if it's
Yeah,
dormant. I mean, you've got history, you've got a bit of history there.
I know. That's a lot of
Yeah.
posts. That's a lot of titles that I will forget. There's a lot of just well, putting the art in the right place at the right time period. Here, let me show you what I mean. Give me a second. I just have to break away from
Mm,
the spot here. How's Karat?
yeah.
How you doing in Karat?
Karat, it's very hot in Karat. I'm
Oh,
only
okay.
here for another few days, and then I'm back to Blighty.
It's gonna be cold. It's cold around here.
I
So yeah,
know,
so
I
I
know.
was I told you I've been cleaning up the studio. So yesterday you probably have like boxes where you keep all your nostalgia things that you've done, you know,
Yeah,
shows you've been in, just reminders, postcards, stuff like that.
yeah.
So I have that as well, and I was going through a bunch of stuff, and I realized, wow, I've done a lot. I've done a lot, but
Mm.
this is how I painted. So this is what Instagram does for me. If I have a painting from 2018, can you see that? I mean, I don't paint like that anymore.
Yeah, no, keep Instagram going. Yeah,
Right, here's look at this funky cow.
yeah.
These were like little cards for a show I had, and I was just
Brilliant.
handing them out.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
a lot of
stuff like
people
that as
liked
well,
it.
Ron. Yeah, I mean, if you've got like 1,000 of those, have a little box where you give away your paintings so people can take one.
Yep.
Because the other thing about giving stuff away is that I'd rather give 100 paintings to 100 different people than 100 paintings to one person.
Yeah, and that's another problem I have that we can talk about. I had a guy approach me at a party about 3 weeks ago, it was a local guy who buys a lot of my work, and he's downsizing. He's moving, perhaps even to Vietnam, actually, with his
Right.
girlfriend. And
Mm, good
he
idea.
says, "Well, I want to get rid of your work." And you're telling me about I've been reading about your free art things, and he says, "Well, I'm just going to bring it all down to the charity shop." And I was like, "Oh," which is the Salvation Army here, which is every local person when they see their work in the Salvation Army, they just want to go, they just want to get, it's horrible. That means somebody bought it or a garage sale and all that. So it's like, yeah. So you said it was better to have many different buyers than one buyer. Now this one buyer who bought 10 to 15 of my paintings over the years they're all going to be at a charity shop. So I got to drive by
I
there every
was,
day and buy them back so I can give
yeah,
them
I
away.
mean, I, I'm considering giving my work to charity shops,
Well,
cover them in
well,
advertism, because
yep.
I like the idea of my paintings in Oxfam and Salvation Army. I know it's the antithesis of the White Wall Gallery.
That's true. Maybe there's a different stigma. And when I was with you and on doing the charity shops, it seemed like it was it's a different attitude. Here it's purely the Salvation Army, and
Right.
and there's actually a smell inside of them. I don't even know what kind of detergent they use, but there's only
Right.
one. We have one charity shop in the entire United States, and it's called the Salvation Army. People don't. I think you were telling me it's a tax write-off for people to run them or something.
Well, charity shops don't pay business rates, so their
That's what it
operation
was.
costs
Right.
are a lot lower. Yeah.
Right. So you had a
Or at
wide
least, or
variety.
they get,
Yeah.
or they get some relief on their rates. But I mean, I would do an exit. I would go the other way. I would um I would say wherever there's a stigma, that's the place to
That's
be.
the place to be. I
Yeah,
totally get it. I know that. I know that too. I have that feeling. If
yeah.
I could have a show, if I could maybe I can give them like a donation of a couple $100 and say, "Can I have a show in your
Black,
shop?"
we should do Black Ivory at the Salvation Army.
There you go.
I would donate to that.
You just made my day. That was a
That's a
good
brilliant.
mm, using our brains.
If Because yes, Black Ivory at the Salvation Army. I'm writing that down because I'm going to be sending when I get back to London. One of the first things on my to-do list is send Ron a load of stuff, and I'll probably ask if Emma wants to put anything in there. Oh no, it's the postage is next to nothing,
Okay.
and
Okay.
you won't have to pay much of a tariff
I know.
because thankfully our paintings have no monetary value. So
Right.
it'll be fine.
I do the
But
same. Yeah.
yeah, Black Ivory at Salvation Army would be really good. And
How to formulate that? I might look into that. Yeah. Anyway, I gotta take a break. Could you keep our audience busy? I have to use the toilet, as you say.
no problem. I'll
All
keep them entertained. I'll
All
keep
right.
them
See you soon.
entertained.
Okay. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Okay. I'm going to show the viewers what I'm doing. So, turn into this. These are my top trump cards, which I'm not going to do as top trumps anymore. But here we are. So Heckles Horse Jr. coming to Camden. Acrylic on paper, size A7. So what is about 150 here, plus about another 40. And if I give 10 of these away 3 times a week, then I need 1,200 before the next time I come to Korat. I'm a bit behind schedule. Oh, Ron's back.
Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. I'm going through my wad of A7 Heckles Horse Juniors.
And how are you gonna distribute those?
Glue them. These were going to be the top trump cards,
That's
but
right.
I've decided against that. I'm going to put them onto a piece of cardboard.
Mhm.
Actually, I'll show you. With the advertisement is going to be some text which I'm going to get duplicated. So, so here we go. So that's A6 size. That goes like that. They're going to be sort of like that,
Ah, okay.
and that's going to say, "This is the original painting by me, Heckles Horse Jr., aka the Camden Market Free Art Man, Edworth Johnson, and John P. Heckles Horse Jr. paintings are based on Heckles Horse paintings I make in collaboration with Billy Childish." Then I'm going to have my URLs, and then on the back, I'm going to have a load more advertism on the back.
Good. Good.
So, and there'll be, like I say, I've worked out I need 1,200 artworks per year for Camden.
How did you work? How did you come up with that number?
I think I did. 3 days a week, 10 months a year, 10 artworks a day. I think that makes 1,200, and that's a minimum because really I want to be giving away more than 10 in a day. So
Right.
I think I've done about 500 during my time in Thailand. So
Right.
that leaves me another 700 that I need to do in England at the same time as doing Camden.
Do you have any kind of other marketing like ideas as far as looking like Rose, which this is what she does for a living. They have to go back and check and see if their advertisem is working. So do you have a way of watching your website and looking at your stats and think,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah, and
because
it's
you
not.
don't want to you want to make it worth your while. You got to see some sort of feedback, right? Yeah, okay,
Yeah, I'm very underwhelmed with the amount of feedback I'm getting from my advertising. It's
right,
virtually non-existent. So yeah, I'm looking at that. I need to do more
yeah.
experimenting with different things. But what I've done so far largely hasn't worked. But I'm happy that I've discovered Camden as the venue because Camden's a brilliant venue.
It is. It is. It's probably I can't even imagine anywhere right now in the world is
I
as well
agree.
as you have it right now. I mean, because I don't know the world, but I'm saying,
Mm,
like, I know New York, forget it. I know Los Angeles. There's just no place you'd be allowed to do what you're doing. The fact that
yeah,
nobody's taking you and putting you in the paddy wagon is also
yeah.
amazing to me. So there's
No,
something about they're letting you be there. Some, the powers that be, they know you're there. You
yeah.
got the security guard on, you know, film that you did when I was there.
Security have taken my work, and I said,
They looked at
do you,
mine. Yeah.
they said I can't do the interview because I'm in uniform, so I
Uh,
just give them the work, and so they wave hello, they're fine.
Yep.
No, you're right. Camden Market is the best place in the world
Right.
for doing what I do there. There's nowhere else. And people have come up to me and said, "Oh, you should come to Margate. You should do it in Margate." I was like, "Well, what's at Margate?" "Oh, well, there's
Right.
a big art scene there." So well, that's the last place. So I don't want to be near an art scene. I
You
want to
want to
be
no
where there's,
no competition. You are the person.
yeah.
Right. Right.
I want to be where there's it's the quality of people, not the quality of businesses around me. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and the people at Camden are the best. So
You're
I'm going to
getting
stay there.
a wide, uh, diverse group of people from different parts of the world, which is always fascinates me. Which is
Yeah,
back to the movie thing. You'll end up making a movie, and somebody will pick it up, and that's where you'll get all your money for painting. You know.
I think so. I think there's money in these videos I'm doing
Oh,
because they're so
I'm
good.
arrested every time I watch them. Everyone is. I know they would be. Because how can you not be?
Yeah,
You're you're doing the Andy Warhol thing. You're making other people the stars. You're making
yeah.
them. You're getting opinions of people that matter. Who wants to? We were talking about John Berger. Who wants any more John Bergers in the world?
I
I want
know.
people to talk about it, right?
Emma and I have had so many conversations about John Berger.
I don't know him. I only know him through you. I have one of his books upstairs, but I don't know
Yeah.
a thing about him. Yeah. So,
I'm sure he was a very nice man, but the rubbish he spewed about art just makes me want to
mhm.
vomit. And it's what I don't like is the arrogance of it to
Yeah.
to to tell people like Picasso what he should and shouldn't be doing. It's
Right.
like
Right.
imagine me telling David Beckham how to play football. It's just
Right. Right.
I
Right.
just cannot stand and
Mhm.
it's not just him; it's all of them. Um,
Oh,
I
well, they
I
have
saw
to.
one.
That's yeah. Go ahead. Mhm.
One lady had done her PhD in some art stuff and was doing this big speech, and she was going on about how wrong Picasso was because Picasso wasn't a big fan of Pierre Bonnard's paintings. He would say Pierre Bonnard isn't a very good painter, and he'd explain what he thought. But Matisse, who was Bonnard's friend, always used to say, "No, no, Bonnard is a good painter." So there's always this who was right, and she was up there saying that how Matisse was right and Picasso was wrong as if she was the kind of authority above both
Right. She
Picasso and
gets.
Matisse to
Yeah.
say
She's
which
the
one.
judge. the
yeah,
referee. Right.
exactly. And it's like, do you know your rightful position in this conversation? It yeah, exactly. So all that that stuff Berger said about Picasso, that just sums up everything that is wrong with art critics in one person.
I remember. Also, it's funny because even artists themselves, painters back and forth, can be a little bit catty, and and I don't know, professional jealousy or whatever. So you always wonder what their true meaning is. How does anybody tell what another? You know what I mean? It's very subjective. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
of this video I watched of Joan Mitchell. Have you ever heard of Joan Mitchell?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's in her studio and she's being interviewed and they're walking around and she's like laughing at this other painter they're talking about because he was having success and she said, "Yeah, but he only used one brush. You could tell he's only using one brush." I'm going,
Mm,
"That's who cares what he was using? He could be using his
I know.
tongue. Who cares?" You know,
I
it's like that was her way of saying that he was no good or whatever. And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
sometimes get that, yeah. But of course, Joe
You
Mitchell's mother, yeah, sorry, Joe Mitchell's mother was the editor of Poetry Magazine, which was an
mm,
enormously influential magazine among poets in the 1920s and 30s. Her father was a Chicago banker of great wealth, and she was a athlete at Smith College. A couple years out of Smith College, she wants to become a painter, and suddenly she's famous. Gee, it was very helpful. You know how she
yeah.
how she got there.
Yeah.
Sorry to yeah, I got excited. But all the stories of these artists that they always I mean, few people know that Philip Guston and Jackson Pollock were they ran a newspaper together in high school in Los
I
Angeles.
know that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that and that was in Los Angeles when they were just kids. And then they
Mm,
end up in New York. They talk to each other, everybody's friends. They have their own little black ivory. And because of where they are, you being in London, which is always an enormous plus for you,
yeah.
they somebody comes up, Peggy Guggenheim or whatever comes over and says, "Let's hang out." And I know some friends, you know, Jackson
Yeah.
will buy your painting for $1,500, and then David
Mm,
Geffen will sell it in 40 years for 40 million.
yeah. Well,
It's
right, right.
it's a racket. But I'm getting off. I have
Yeah.
questions for you.
Oh, go on
Why
then.
isn't Charles Thompson rich? Why isn't he rich yet? He's got. I mean,
Um,
he should be. He founded a movement. I mean, and when I say rich, just well known
yeah.
to the point of like being written about, people knocking on his door and learn more.
I think. Well, I mean, if we're referring to the success of Stuckism, why didn't Stuckism get? I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is,
Mm.
Stuckism is a kind of footnote in the story of Brit art. It's not its own thing because
Hmm.
what they're known for is their opinion on like conceptual art. So they're a moon around the orbit of conceptual art and Brit art. They're not their own planet with
Oh,
moons surrounding it. So there's only so far that's going to go. As far
right.
as Stuckism as a credible art movement, I don't think anyone was ever really interested in the art. That's
Right.
the thing with Stuckism. They didn't deliver an art. That's why I don't refer to Stuckism as an art movement. It's a group of people. They're just a group of people. And amongst those people are some art critics who have some scathing things to say about Brit art. That's what it is. And that's not going to make you a big deal. It's going to make you part of somebody else's story who's a big
Okay.
deal, not you yourself. So I imagine that's why Stuckism didn't really, take
Yeah,
off.
that's good. That's how I would probably think about it as well. Right. It's a it's a
Mm.
it's a reform. If anything, we talked about it maybe before. It's a reform movement. It was an idea of like saying this is where art should go. It was an opinion. It was
It was it's art critic. It's just an art critic, really.
a visual art criticism because they're all painters, right? Yeah,
They are all painters, but I don't think the connection ever existed between what they were saying and the paintings they were painting. So
right.
that's why I would say it's really just a platform for some art criticism. And the value that people see in Stuckism is what it said, not what it painted. And that's where you can't really call yourself an art movement because the art. I mean, it's not particularly brilliant art overall. I mean, I know that's subjective, but it doesn't even have an identity. Stuck is paint. I mean, the whole thing is authenticity. Yeah,
I was looking through this.
all good art. All good art is authentic. You know what I mean? You
Mhm,
take that as
mhm,
read. That's not enough to call yourself an art movement. Authenticity.
mhm.
It's it's not got. There's no common denominator in Stuckist painting.
Okay.
Even they're not even all painters. There's no common denominator in Stuckism other than they're artists.
Mhm.
You know, you could go on Instagram and pick 1,000 artists at random and call them a word. It doesn't make them anything to do with each other. So yeah, that's really the thing with Stuck. I think
I like
Stuckism was
that.
a bit of a missed opportunity, all things considered.
And how so? Because if it changed a little bit, if it did something different.
I think this idea where they open it to Tom, Dick, and Harry like me and you to join, I think that was a very bad idea. I think,
Yeah,
and I
you're
think
right.
that if they'd have been a bit more choosy with the artists that they allowed to have in it, and didn't go so full throttle on this anti-Brit art thing, and I think they
Mhm.
got too political. And like I
Spiritual.
said, once they let the floodgates in with the artists who could join, that just diluted any idea of there being any quality in the work.
Well, the
And if they,
manifesto pretty much ruined it. Pretty much ruined it for him because manifesto says, we're all, if you're thinking along these lines, you're in. Do you see? It's like it was more of a thought experiment than you know, you get up
but
and
it,
paint, you're a stuckist. That was yeah.
I know, and who doesn't do that? All artists get up and paint. And the thing is, Stuckist painters don't do that to any greater extent than anyone else. It's like how many Stuckists get up in the morning and paint? You know, maybe a few. And and the thing is, they're anti-white wall gallery. So what do they go and do? The
Right.
Walker Gallery show, a massive, great big white wall gallery show. They do the
Oh,
Go West show. So the
okay.
exhibitions they did totally contradict their manifesto. So
Right.
whatever the Stuckism manifesto is, it's not a manifestation of Stuckism. So what
Right.
is it?
Right.
It's just
Right.
a load of I reckon. It's so it again. It's
Yeah.
a nice idea, but it never manifested itself.
Nice. Right. I saw some Edgeworth Johnston in here.
Oh, what's? Oh, yeah, that was that was in Highgate near where the Hecklesforth Junior show was at the
Oh,
Literary Institute, whatever it's
okay.
called.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of
what's it called? Lauderdale House. Lauderdale
oh,
House in
this
Highgate.
was Lauderdale House? Okay. And there were photographs
Yeah.
too. There's people's photographs in here.
Oh, right, good. Yeah. I only, the only bit of that show I remember is hanging the show. I don't actually remember the private view itself or what any of the paintings were. But I remember hanging the show was a lot of work. It was a,
Yeah, it's a
and
lot of
also
painting.
that I think it was that exhibition which the Czech Stuckists came over in a van and they did a lot of the work themselves. They were
Yep.
great.
Yeah.
Um, Jiri and who else were there's about what Yaroslav. A
Yep.
few of them came over in a van. Yeah, Jaroslav. Yeah,
Hmm.
he came. Mm.
He's doing very well now.
Is I've got one of his paintings at home.
It seems like he's selling and he's having a lot of gallery shows as far as he's definitely getting out there. So
Yeah,
he's lost his stuckism too, I guess. Well, that's
I
one
like
thing.
Jaroslav.
Oh yeah, he's a really nice guy. And well, I worked with
Yeah,
him too. I worked with him and there was another guy. You said his names. Could you say the other Czech name?
Jiri.
Yeah,
Jiri.
and him. They brought their work here.
Yeah,
And I can't believe I didn't. It happens when you're frugal, Mister Frugal. I had all these opportunities to buy some really good, paintings that I liked at the show I had here, and I didn't. I spent. You know what? Most of my money was spent mailing it all back to everybody because I didn't make them pay for the return shipping.
they should have given you the work, Rom. That's not your fault. If they knew you were paying for the shipping, they should have given you some work.
Some
So I'm
did,
very
some did,
disappointed that they didn't.
right?
Yeah. Oh
But
well, you live and learn.
You live and learn. It was quite a show, and I realized I don't ever want to do that again. it's we
No,
had a we had 37 painters in 9
really.
countries, and
Wow.
yeah. So that was
A
a lot of
learning
paintings.
experience. Yeah.
Oh, it totally was a learning experience, and I did everything you would. It's one of those things like, I think I put a quote up recently on the Substack from Henry Thoreau. He was a writer and from the 19th century and American writer, and he said he used this parable of the Indian going up to a lawyer's house and saying, like all you have to do is weave arguments and you make money. Well, I've woven these baskets. Now it's your job to buy them, and so and he realized that nobody wants his baskets. And Thoreau then says, well, I had to find a way to go through life where I didn't have to make people want to buy my baskets. And that's
Right.
kind of where we are with advertising. They don't have to buy the basket, but get us some cash. So I did all that show, which was an enormous effort. I mean, of promotion, thousands of dollars spent, thinking that
Mm,
it'll come back. And it came back. It came back in people, not in any kind of financial gain. The people was
yeah.
I would never give that up. Actually, it was worth it. Um,
Yeah.
I got Charles Thompson's respect, all these other painters because I think I did a good job of getting the work back to them
Yeah.
and got them up. Made a book, gave them the book, and so I did all that stuff. But realized that promoting this comes back to our beginning of our conversation with galleries is if you have to know rich people, otherwise forget it because only rich people are going to spend $1,000 on a painting. So
What you learned doing that exhibition,
all right.
you probably learned more than these people that spend 3 years doing some course
Oh,
in art or in marketing or in
oh yeah.
starting a business. Just go and do it and fail.
Mhm.
Do something. I mean, I've done very similar things to what you've just described. I did the Stuckist Christmas sale in Shoreditch, which is at the time was uh, part of the Shoreditch Triangle of art galleries. So that was sort of like an attempt
Mm,
to do
mm.
something in the epicenter of the art world and stuff like that. And I did all that, and ultimately, it was it was superficially a complete waste of time. But under the surface, a lot of what I learned doing that show, I learned what not to do, and you know what I mean. You find
Right.
things that do and don't work, and
Mhm.
when you hear of other opportunities in inverted commas to get involved in stuff, I can see what that's not going to work,
Right.
because you've done it firsthand. So
Yeah, and
you're buying yourself an education. That's every time you do something that fails, you're buying yourself an education.
right.
So yeah, no,
Right.
just do it. Just do something. I mean, the alternative is to do nothing. So just do something.
I know, and I got a big freedom window coming in after a year of inwardness with uh all this stuff with my mom and stuff. So now it's like yeah, see what happens. Looking forward to it. Black Ivory, Salvation Army.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a great idea, Ron. That's a great, and I think that's yeah,
How would you
it's
do it?
so
How can you?
suitable for us.
Yeah,
The stigma, the stigma that you're talking about that people have towards Salvation Army in America is
yeah.
probably the kind of stigma that people have towards Black Ivory. So we're probably getting
Oh,
in the right crowd there.
oh yeah. And I disagree. I think everyday when I say everyday people, 99% of people I think really would dig what we're doing. I mean, I really believe it's down to earth. It's real. It's what everybody imagines an artist or art people do is go to work and struggle and try to figure out the right way to get their work out there. So the work is good enough, in my opinion. I think we're fine painters. I mean, it's
Yeah,
great, and or you know, it's about people knowing about it. So when you're doing a press release this year, hopefully we'll see, right?
yeah.
Because you want to see some sort of thing moving. Um, that's going to be if once you get
Oh,
that
hello.
people to see you. Hello, on. Is that on? No.
No, it's a friend of ours.
Oh, okay.
That's our neighbourhood. Imagine in England if somebody just opened your front door and stuck their head round. You know,
Well, in America, they'd be probably shot, right?
yeah.
Oh man, am I keeping
But
you?
no,
You got a
sorry,
party to
Ron.
go to?
A party?
Do you have a party to go to or anything?
No,
Oh,
no, we're good. No. Um. So no, what were you saying, Ron? About we've got we're trying to what we have isn't totally unattractive to people.
right. Oh no, I don't think we're the Salvation Army of art. I think it's quite the opposite. I think something new, not something old and used and ready to be tossed aside for some cheap price. I don't think that's true at all. I think we're keeping something alive and growing something. That's how I feel.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, to be, I'm quite happy with Black Ivory. It's a small thing at the moment. Now it might get
right.
bigger, it might stay the same.
Well,
Either way, I'm happy.
you talked about movements and why stuckism didn't work. I don't mind being a brute or a fauvist or whatever. I like, you know, uh, Charles called my work once. He said, there was a movement, in Los Angeles in the 60s or 70s or something. I forgot what it was called, but it was lowbrow. And it's
Right.
like, call it whatever you want. I like that. So, but that's the
Yeah.
point is it's got to be called something. So Black Ivory needs to be known. You got to get it out there. And so if you don't
Oh,
mind,
I,
I'll keep promoting it as much as I can. I'll start using that term verbiage if that's okay with you.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. I mean, whatever you like. I mean, I
Okay.
think that whatever you call something, it doesn't change what it is.
No, I know.
It's like
Right. Right.
um, I mean, I think Black Ivory is distinct enough, and what the thing that the visual similarities between my work, your work, and Emma's work
Mhm.
is obvious just by looking at it without having to worry about what words we use to describe what
Mhm.
that is. Because
Mhm.
essentially, what we're describing is obvious. I
Mhm.
think what Black Ivory has to do, and this is my job, I suppose, as the person who curates the website and everything,
Right. Right. Right.
is
Yeah. Black Ivory.
to present
Yep.
to present Black Ivory as I see it to other people. Because if other people see it the way I see it, I think we're going to go down quite well. And then we've got to, like you say, off our own backs without the millions of pounds or the client lists that other
Client list.
establishments
Right.
have.
Right.
Break into the world and just start picking off one or two people here and there who are really into what we're doing.
One or two who are into doing who have reached. Um, that's obviously important.
Ideally, a few of them will, but we'll.
Yeah.
I think just like last year, I met Margot from
Yeah. Yeah.
Seattle. You know, she's
Yeah.
into what we're doing,
Yep.
and
That was
I met
that was big. Yeah. Anytime
yeah,
somebody
that
can
was
take
great.
what you're doing and use their platform to spread you, kind of like an internet share. Margot gave you an enormous internet share. That's the kind
Oh,
of thing that is important, I think. Yeah.
yeah, and when she just went in her introduction, I thought, well, she's really looked into it. I mean, she's really interested and actually looked into what we're doing. She wasn't
Hmm.
just saying, "So, Edgeworth, when did you start painting? Who are your favorite?" You know, it wasn't just generic questions. She was
Oh, not even
asking.
close. Yeah. Yeah.
No, she was actually really into it. So just to find a person like her, and there's a few others last year, like less than five, but those kind of people are the kind of
Mhm.
people I get a lot of satisfaction out of um, hearing back from. And if I can get another, instead of five next year, if I can get like another 50,
Right.
then I'll be really happy. And some of those people might be influential people. Some of them might just be regular people who are not particularly um, followed, but they're just into what we do. I mean, I don't care. Anyone who's genuine is fine.
Henry Miller said, "One good reader," and I know exactly that feeling. He was a writer. He said, "All I want is one good reader. When I put out a book, just one person, will make me,
Yeah.
glad." Um, So that's something. His life is very interesting because he lived hand to mouth his whole life and was able to push through, not without a little bit of fame and light fortune later in his life, where he was able to afford a house. Um, and so that
Mm.
kind of thing is what I'm shooting for, is because the sooner I can get what you're doing with On, the sooner I can get Rose to be thinking along those lines. And it seems like I'm always trying to like brainwash her in some way, but it's not what I'm trying to do, because she gets it. She's on the same par. She
Yeah,
ruminates about, why am I doing this? Every day, you know, life's
yeah.
not getting, or, the days aren't getting any longer. So yeah, yeah. I think having those people in Camden that you run across, uh, they're
Mm.
going to pan out for you. I just know it. So I'm looking forward to watching things happen for you. It's good. It's good. And I know,
One of my
yeah,
sorry, no, one of my favourite days at Camden was when Zombie came, because Zombie's a massive Nirvana fan, and he came
yeah,
over and I had all my Nirvana artwork, and the look on his face, he's like, "Can I have one? Can I have one?" That that made my 2025. That was good because he loved it. He loved it,
right,
and I could tell he loved it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that's what I want. I mean, just people like him to go to walk past, engage with it, and walk off, um,
Yeah.
and then just follow up and just become, oh wow, and then hopefully, oh, Emma does this, Ron does, oh, they do this thing
Oh,
every
sure,
Thursday, they do
all
this.
connected.
Yeah,
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 these are
bring them into
these are
our
good to keep
world.
doing. I'm glad you keep pushing this, because just being, talking every week is incredibly helpful on so many levels personally. But then I know they're going out there, and you've convinced me to go back on Instagram today, which I'm going to do so I can have my record, so I can have
Yeah,
that. I
yeah,
don't want to lose.
keep the archive going. Yeah,
Keep the archive going. Just whatever. I don't care. Even if, I get, it's cabin fever, Edgeworth. It's like we get this here. It's, you get all inward and you get like, you leave the world behind attitude,
mm,
and I just want spring. So you being in Karat, whatever, it's a
yeah,
different mindset. You're seeing sunshine.
yeah.
The sun shone for the first time, and this is not an exaggeration, 2 days ago, for a full day. We haven't had sun since a couple weeks before Christmas. So it's a
Really.
gray day every single day here. So that's got to be, it's crushing, right? So
Yeah, remember the
maybe that's why I
sunshine.
put all the color. That's why I do the painting. I had a lot.
Yeah,
Let's see. Do you have anything else to run by me? Because I got to get out. We had snow again last night, and I got to clear the driveway. So what's going
no
on?
problem, Ron. No, that's we're good. No, I'm just getting ready to go back to London. I mean, and anything else? I mean, I don't want to keep you from your chores,
It's my
so
chores,
we'll.
and then I also got to prepare for my trip that I'll be taking. Uh, let's see. My mother yesterday it was a big deal the past couple days, because we had to move her apartment. All that stuff had to go to the movers. The massive amount of snow we've been having, there were all these delays. Just crazy. And we got this one
Mm,
window of opportunity. Movers came from New York City, picked up her stuff, drove it
yeah.
down to South Carolina, and all that had to be organized on the phone in the past 48 hours. And then Verizon, which is our phone carrier, died yesterday. It had some sort of a thing, so we couldn't make contact with the movers. It was
Mm,
just, it was
oh
crazy.
no.
So that's going on, but
Yeah.
that's going to be over with soon. So check back in a week. Oh, I might not be here, but I could still be on the beach.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
So
We'll work around it, Ron. Whatever.
when are you back in London? What day? Uh,
That's a good point. 21st of January is when I fly
mm,
out.
okay,
I
so
haven't checked what days of the week. This could potentially jeopardize our Thursday scheduling for the next
it's,
podcast. I don't know.
yeah, probably, but maybe Friday or Saturday. Saturday is the 24th.
All right, we'll message each other with. I'll check with On because we're going to Bangkok. I think on the 19th,
Mhm.
spending 2 days in Bangkok. Then I'm going on the 21st to London. Then I'm going to be up in the air for half a day,
I
and
understand. I understand you got a
So
lot going on. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, and we both have, because you're doing this big move, and I'm about to do a
Yeah.
big move.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be in touch about what date's best for the next podcast.
All right. All right. Cheers to you and on, and safe travels.
And you, Ron, I hope it all goes well with the trip and everything. And
Yep,
let's
I'll
hope
make sure it does.
Rose, yeah, and let's hope Rose and you get your retirement, follow our passions plan
Yeah.
all sorted out.
Not using the word retirement. I'm not going to retire. I'm going to be painting till I die. So no
Oh,
retirement.
sorry, yes, yeah, golden years. Yeah,
Yeah. Thanks. All right. Talk to you soon.
bye.
Bye.